I'm excited to share Bill as an exclusive sponsor of the Thrivecast. They have been sponsoring the Thrivecast for so long. Thank you, Bill. Our firm has been using Bill for over a decade now. We actually use it in all of our foundational CFO and controllership engagements. We have to turn all of our clients' financial processes digital, and we do that with Bill. And you can check out some webinars and blogs and even toolkits that I build with Bill to help in your firm. So thank you, Bill, for being a sponsor of the Thrivecast. Hey, welcome to another episode of the Thrivecast. This is a special Thrivecast. We don't have a guest, and it is special because I get to teach some, which I love to do. And I hope you love it too. But what I want to do is talk about a very specific concept that's really important, I think, for firm entrepreneurs. And it relates to things that are happening right now in our world. This season is where we go to a lot of conferences. After tax season in the summer and then into the fall, we go into conference season where we all, as firm entrepreneurs, we attend conferences and we learn and grow together. And you know that this is Thrival's 13th year of Deeper Weekend. That is our conference that we have put on for a long time. And so I'm excited to talk to you about Deeper Weekend. Now, we are going to talk about a certain topic. You can see on a screen, we're actually pulling up a blog post for you to see on our Thrival.com website. If you go to Thrival.com, hit resources, and you're going to see articles, you're going to get to this blog post, and it's called Rest versus Owner Rest. We're going to talk about those. But this is highlighting the fact that you are meant to, as a firm entrepreneur, you're meant to move into something called owner rest, which is really what we're going to be talking about and the different facets of owner rest today. And our conference, Deeper Weekend, this is a perfect time for you to step away as a firm owner. That's what owner rest is to step away strategically and learn on your own. It's to step away and rest from your clients, your firm, your team, a lot of times, and to learn and grow as an owner. So that's why we call that owner rest. And we want to invite you to do that at Deeper Weekend. Deeper Weekend is a conference where we go deep into one topic. We take firm entrepreneurs through the depth of understanding a very particular topic that they're trying to learn. So I want to talk to you about that. Now, if you'll go to Thrival.com and you'll hit the Deeper Weekend navigation at the top, you can have a code, and it's Bill 20 off. So Bill is our sponsor of the Thrivecast, which you just heard at the beginning of the Thrivecast. But thank you, Bill. They have been sponsoring our Thrivecast for years. I don't know how long, so it's been a long time. Bill is an amazing partner of ours, and of course, we use him in our firm for just about everything we do with our clients all over the country. But if you'll go to Deeper Weekend at the top of our Thrival.com website and key in the code BILL20OFF, that's Bill 20 off, you're going to get 20% off of the ticket for Deeper Weekend this year. So very exciting. So thank you, Bill, for joining us as a sponsor of the Thrivecast. And, of course, they're an anchor sponsor for us at Deeper Weekend, too. So they've been doing that for a long time. So basically what I want to talk to you about is this concept called rest versus owner rest. And this came out of a leadership summit we were teaching not long ago. This is a concept Julie Shipp, my partner, was talking to the group about. And it's a really important part of what we're supposed to understand as entrepreneurs. And I kind of want to go over that. And then, of course, the big point here is owner rest is an example of something you do when you go to a conference like Deeper Weekend. So this year at Deeper Weekend, we're talking about the science and practice of productivity. So productivity, capacity management, a lot of these very complex issues for scaling service-based organizations are very difficult to know and to understand. And so that's what we're going to be talking about as you commit to owner rest. Now, so as we do that, what I want to do is talk to you about the different concepts of what rest, and owner rest are. And you can see them all in this blog post as we go through this. I won't hit every bit of this, but again, Julie, my partner, was talking about rest, and owner rest, the two different things as we were on this leadership summit. Now, so let's talk about it. So what is rest? And again, we made these concepts up. So we're trying to explain different forms of rest. Rest is what a lot of people think of when you hear that you need to step away from your firm. You do need to rest. Entrepreneurship asks a lot of us as entrepreneurs, and so it is important to balance that with rest. So that's a very big part of what we do. And that's what this rest is like. This is when you step away for vacation, right? If you go hiking, you completely step away from the daily activities of your work, really your daily routines. Rest is where you refuel yourself. But there is this other type of rest, and we called it owner rest. And this is where you do rest, but you're resting from being an owner. But you are still doing a very specific type of work. It's a very strategic type of work. So this strategic type of work is where you step away from all of the things that you do as an owner, from your firm, from your team, from your client base, and you come and you start to learn. That's an important part of what you're supposed to be doing with owner rest, is you are meant to refuel your mind. And this is a key concept for entrepreneurs, is that entrepreneurs should be learning. You should always be learning. We work and consult and coach with a lot of firm entrepreneurs, and we find the ones that really are doing a lot of their own learning, these are the ones that are growing. They're avoiding a lot of their own mistakes. And so a lot of times, one thing we do when we bring coaching and consulting is we want to bring resources also. We want firm entrepreneurs to be teaching themselves. So that is a big part of what you have to do. Conferences, watching podcasts, reading online blog posts, reading a lot of the ebooks that I write for Thrival and for a lot of our partners. All of these things are ways in which we can grow. Of course, in some of our programs like Incubator, we actually list 20 different books that are key, we think, for entrepreneurs that have really changed me and my partner. So reading, conferences, blog posts, podcasts, all of these things are part of what we call owner rest. And so that's what this concept is, and is a very strategic form of rest, and it is a very important part of rest. I do want to highlight real quick, Jonathan Godwin, one of our members, longtime friend, he actually did a post in LinkedIn about this concept of rest versus owner rest, and it was really insightful. He said owner rest takes place when a lifestyle business owner takes purposeful time away from the business to learn, make themselves better owners. There have to be times when I've felt guilty about taking time away, which we all feel that guilt, but I always walk away with something valuable, and this was no exception when he was talking about the leadership summit we were going through. And I didn't feel guilty at all about attending the summit, mind you, but we sometimes fill the pool when we're not available to our team and clients. And that's a real pool that we all feel when we're going through something called owner rest. Owner rest is super strategic. It's really starting to flip the tables to know that as an entrepreneur, so much is asked of you. You're having to pour so much emotion, heart, mental stability. Leadership is very emotionally draining. You're helping other people understand, their path forward in your company. A lot of this drains a lot from you. And owner rest is when you step away and you let another organization like Thrival care for you. We help you rest. We teach you. We take the time to create a lot of the learning and provide that service for you. And of course, that's something we love to do. So it's a gift for us to do it now that people fly from all over the world now to come to the Deeper Weekend Conference. We've been doing this for so long. It's established to know that we're going to hit some very deep education when you come to Deeper Weekend. So that's why we want to invite you to come and key in that Bill 20 off code to come into Deeper Weekend and actually start participating in owner rest. It's something you have to have as an owner. It does improve you. It makes you better. You get worn down, just in constant client service, constant team leadership, managing yourself and your own desires and whims and emotions. A lot of that wears all of us out. And you need to go somewhere where people are going to care for you and take care of you. And that's what owner rest is, and that's why we ask people to come to Deeper Weekend and do that. One thing in this article is to think about 4 different concepts we talk about that you really want to enhance and help you with as you go through owner rest. And this first one is the mind. So as you go through conference season, as you come to Deeper Weekend, you can think about these 4 different concepts. And this first one, the mind, this is how you can challenge your mind to grow and expand. So what you want to do as a leader is you always want to be changing the lenses through which you view the world. You want those always to be challenged. Now, that doesn't feel comfortable a lot of times when we're challenging our own lenses, but that is what you should be doing. And you should be tackling the fact that the way you view the world has been established over a long period of time, and you want to challenge that. You want to change that as you grow. And we would go as far to say as your lenses should always be maturing as you're maturing as an entrepreneur. So when you are challenged to change your thought process, how you think, how you view something, that's a point of learning. That's very good for you to go through. And that's the mind. When you go through owner rest, which is strategic rest, it's a place of learning, like conferences, like Deeper Weekend. One thing you want is your mind to be challenged. Your mouth is another part of this. So as leaders, we teach our leaders this a lot when we and our team, when we speak. We know other people hear our speech. They see our speech. In mouth, what we would put in there is what we type. As a virtual firm, we type a lot into an online chat system. So that also is our mouth. So the way we speak and the way we write influence other people. And it's important that we're very concise, clear, succinct. Leaders do not blab. They don't loop around topics and say the same things over and over. They're very succinct. They say something and then they move away from that topic. All of these things, you need to be influenced as you go through owner rest. It makes you a better leader. It makes you a trusted leader when people know the way you communicate is extremely clear. So you want a lot of clarity when you communicate. Clarity of communication for a leader is often found in how succinct they are and how specific they are. So great leaders are rarely general. They don't speak in generalities. Like, how's everybody doing? No, they're going to speak very specifically. Did you get that report done by 5 p.m. on Friday? And if not, how can I help you if you missed the deadline? That is a lot more specificity. So leaders are very specific in the way that they use their mouth. And that's one thing you want to be challenged is the way you speak and the way that you write when you come participate in owner rest. Your ears also. How can you hear news and new forms of feedback, right, and information? So you as a firm entrepreneur, especially one that's going through owner rest, this strategic rest where you're learning, that is, it's restful because you're stepping away from client service, from team, from your firm, but you're going through a strategic form of rest where you're growing and learning how to listen it is a massive skill. It's very hard to do. A lot of times our emotions get in the way and we start just blabbing because we're upset, we're fearful, we're angry, and we just start talking and yelling, and all of these things mean our ears have been shut off in that moment. And so that is not the sign of leadership at all. Leaders listen. You may find leaders don't speak a lot of times. You may find really strong leaders opening their mouth and speaking very specifically when they know that something they have to say is very valuable. So great leaders are people who listen. They use their ears a lot. And they're not only listening to other people, they're also listening for feedback. What leaders have learned is they've gone through so many hard things, they know they must keep learning, they must keep taking in feedback, or they're not going to keep growing. And so that is a real strong sign of a leader when they are open to listen, they're open to think differently. So the ear is a large part of what you do as an owner. So that's something to really keep in mind when you're thinking about going through this concept of owner rest, this very strategic part of what we do as far as owner rest. Okay, and a next concept as an owner is going through this thing called owner rest. The strategic rest is really the hands. This is something you're going to find leaders doing, is that they serve a lot. And this sometimes is surprising, right? When you're in a larger company and you're the leader in that larger company, you're going to find the leader serving a lot. They're actually doing things for other people. That's what the leader does. And why is that? Because the leader of all the people, they know really the most important thing to do. That is the job of the leader, to really be able to prioritize better than anybody one of the most important things to do. So a leader is going to see and pinpoint a thing that should be done. Everybody else is really busy, but they go, that of all the things is really important. How can I help you get that done? And they're moving this business forward because they're prioritizing and pinpointing the very specific things that must move forward. So a leader will pitch in, and so they'll participate by using their hands to serve other people. When you find a leader just barking orders at people and then them not working, obviously the team are not going to honor that. They're not going to trust that. And so you're going to find typically an owner is working as hard as the team, and they are often serving the team. That's my job, is to serve the team. A lot of what I do is to lead an organization and build an organization that allows team to work in it effectively. And now I'm the owner with my partner, Julie. I'm the one that has the power to knock down any wall that would get in the way of the team immediately. I can fire a client immediately. I can stop working for a client immediately until they double their price and pay us more. There's all things that I have the power to do and eliminate all barriers potentially that a team member could be facing where they don't have that power to eliminate those. So that's why a lot of my goal is to serve them, not have the organization serve me. And in a sense, as an owner, I am serving the organization too. So when you get to a firm our size, 15 to 20 people, you're going to find as the CEO is actually doing what's best for the organization, not what is best for the owner. And so I have taken a role as CEO in the company, and that means I'm going to perform my job effectively, productively for the benefit of that company to move forward. So those are just some key ways you can think about what are you supposed to be growing and thinking about as you go through this concept of owner rest. As you grow your mind, you become more clear in the way that you speak and write with your mouth. Your ears, you listen for feedback, and then your hands, you are there to serve. So let's take a quick break, and then I want to give just a few more facets of really what you need to be thinking about as an owner when you come to this year's Deeper Weekend. Are you tired of grappling with inventory management complexities? Designed for QuickBooks Online, SOS Inventory ensures seamless synchronization of precise tracking of inventory at all stages, empowering you with unparalleled accuracy. So with integration spanning Shopify, UPS, BigCommerce, PayPal, and more, SOS Inventory can streamline your processes effortlessly. So join the global network of satisfied users spanning 60-plus countries now. Begin your risk-free 2-week trial today at live.sosinventory.com/trial. And don't forget to use promo code THRIVE for a 10% discount on your first 6 months of subscription service. Explore the wide selection of features at sosinventory.com and revolutionize your accounting practice. We're back on this Thrivecast. Thank you, SOS, for sponsoring the Thrivecast. So again, as you think about, you see the blog posts on my screen. Again, I've been mentioning this, the science and practice of productivity. You can register now for a Deeper Weekend. That is one of the greatest forms of owner rest when you go to a conference. You invest a lot in the conference. So just a couple of things when we think about what is this concept of strategic rest. And I want to give you different facets of this as you think about it. One of those is height. Think about height, right? So owner rest is strategic rest. Being strategic is moving to a different height. When you go to a conference like Deeper Weekend, you want to move away from the weeds of how do I do a tax return better? And you want to move to the height of strategy, right? So you're moving up into the clouds. And why do we say it like that? It's like, move up into the clouds. What that does is it broadens your view, right? It gives you a visionary view into the future. And when you're down in the weeds, you're looking at things like, getting payroll out by Friday, right? Those are the things we're trying to rest from as we're doing strategic owner rest. And height lets you see a different view. And that's what you're supposed to do when you participate in owner rest, is you want to move away from the details. This is seeing the forest for the trees thing. So you want to see the forest. That means you got to get up above the forest. And that's what you need to do. So that's a key concept. Height is something you want to think about. Another one is length. That is something you want to think about. When you're participating in owner rest, strategically, length is you're looking further down the road. That's what you're doing when you're thinking about the strategic nature of owner rest. You're looking 1 year, 1.5 years, 2 years. Sometimes you don't want to get further than that, sometimes 3 years. You want to look way down the road. That is strategic, right? So again, it's not actually being in this concurrent moment, right? Getting payroll out by Friday. It's actually looking 3 years out into the future to see where am I going? What do I want to become? How do I want to transform? Right? 3 years out is a little bit of a dream state. You get to say, I sure hope I can be this, right? Those dreams are necessary for you to be strategic. So that's another facet of the strategic owner rest we're talking about, is to come, move yourself into height, strategic, high-level thinking. Length, look further out, right? It's not just this year when you're at a conference. You want to look at the next 2 to 3 years and say, how can this change my organization as we go further? And then depth, that is a concept you want to consider too. That's another facet of this strategic owner rest. And that's going deep into learning. And that's specifically how we craft Deeper Weekend. The Deeper Weekend is a conference that is specifically for owners to participate in owner rest. They're to come to be cared for, and they're to go deep into learning. And so that's why we don't hit high-level 50-minute sessions, right, that just are very surfacey. They scratch the surface. No, depth is actually where you're transformed. When you go deep into a certain concept, then you really learn all the nooks and crannies and the many, many different facets of that depth. So depth is a very big concept. So you don't want to stay on the surface of your learning. So if you're participating with other owners, right, and that's part of the benefit of this strategic owner rest is being with other like-minded entrepreneurs, you're wanting to go deep with them. If they say, I bought a firm, you want to ask them a lot of questions, right? So if you're at Deeper Weekend and you're with other owners, man, you want to close your mouth as much as you possibly can. You want to talk as a little as you possibly can because you're there with a bunch of smart people and you want to turn on your ears and really listen. Questions, going deep into learning, this depth is going to be guided by a lot of the questions that you ask. So when people say, yeah, I had to fire 5 people and hire 10, you should come up with 15 to 20 questions about that. You want to learn everything they went through, what they were thinking, how hard it was, why they did that, what benefit was it, what failures did they experience in that. And so you want to really gain and take in just an immense amount of depth in your learning. And so when you go to a conference, those are not the times for you to show off, display your knowledge, say what you've done. Those are the times for you to turn your ears on and drink in all of the learning you can. And why? It's because a conference is so rare. We only get to do those 2 or 3 times a year, a couple of days, 2 or 3 days at a time. So you really want to be strategic about how you approach those very specific times, those 2 or 3 days out of a year. Depth is a huge part of what you want to think about when you go deep into your learning. And then the other one is width. Width, I love all these facets of strategic owner reps. Width is when you can look to the past and you can bring that past forward. And this is a time for you to assess, right? This is time for you to learn from yourself, learn what you've done, what you failed at. This is a time to be honest with yourself. Take a wide view of where you've come from and where you're going, and it'll really help you start to gain a better lens and view of who you are. These things of width, these are really the things you want to focus on, right? You've got to learn more about yourself. So when you go to a conference and you're hearing things and you're listening to other people and you're asking questions instead of talking, you're asking questions so you can take in through your ears. Don't waste these times of strategic owner rest. Make sure you're going deep. It's also a time in that width to assess what have I done? Is to face the truth of how you've done things, the difficulties you've gone through, a lot of the mistakes you've made. Face those, right? Help, work with other people. Say, hey, I really made some mistakes. I think I've made a mess of my firm. What do you think I should do? I want to share my story with you. And get the help you need from those people. So this is a summary of these many facets. And if you look at it on a screen, right, you can think height goes up, length, looking out to the future, goes out to the right, depth, that learning goes down, and width is an assessment of your past, goes back. You're really covering all aspects of those strategy quadrants, we might call them, as you participate in strategic owner rest. So as we go into a season of conferences and as you sign up for Deeper Weekend, one of the deepest conferences, accounting firm entrepreneurship conferences in the world, we want to offer, thank you, Bill, for the code BILL20OFF. If you go to thriveal.com and see Deeper Weekend at the top navigation of the site and go register, there's a coupon section and you can key in BILL20OFF. And we invite you to really, change all the things that a leader needs to be working on, right? Their mind, all the things that they think about, their mouth, the way they speak, the way they write clearly, their hands, the way they serve, their ears, the way they hear. And then as you come, you hit those many facets of height, length, depth, and width. And you really are there to learn a lot as you rest strategically. And when you approach a conference, and when you approach a conference strategically like that, and you don't just attend an event, you go ready to learn. Doing that over and over is going to change you as a leader. Your firm will grow as a result of you intentionally approaching conferences like Deeper Weekend to let those conferences change you. So if you've never come to Deeper Weekend, if you've not tried it, 13 years, it keeps transforming people's lives. It continues to transform owners. I hope this is the year you will just stop not coming and you will actually participate. It is a smaller conference. So this is a conference where we're going to have 120, 130 firm owners. So it's not massive. So you're going to be able to find somebody you can sit with, care for. We have a lot of team there that will care for you and be with you and help you find people. We know everybody. We'll help you find people to sit with and grow with and learn with as you participate in your strategic owner rest. So can't wait to see you at Deeper Weekend. Thanks for letting me take the time in this Thrivecast to step away from a guest and just talk a little bit about what it means to be a strategic firm owner and go through this concept called owner rest. Take care, and we'll see you at Deeper Weekend.